Hi, I'm very excited to show you now how to stylize the main page of the app, which is the page where the user will spend most of the time. So the page where they get to these quotes. And here on the left is what we have this far, how our main page looks like. So that is the login screen success page. That's how we called it. And this is how the page will look like after this couple of videos. So first what we're going to do is we are going to add some padding and some spacing to have these buttons separated from each other. So that's the first thing. Then the second thing is we are going to make this big button look like this fancy button here, which changes color when we hover the mouse, when we place the mouse on top of the button. And then we are also going to add some scrolling to this label area here, so that the entire text is shown in a small area and the user is able to scroll and see the entire text. So let's go ahead and work on some padding and spacing and then on the button. Before we begin, I would like you to go to the resources and download the hoverable.py file, the logout hover.png file, and the logout not hover.png file. I'll explain in just a bit what they are. So the padding now, login screen success. Let's add a padding of 30 and spacing of 30 as well. See what we get. Oh yeah, looks better. So now the button. The Kivy library does not natively have an object to implement hover behaviors, so that something changes when you hover the mouse, or there's not an easy way to do so. But someone developed a very small submodule called Hoverable, and you can get that file and put it in the same directory with your main.py file, so they are in the same folder. And then what you do is you don't have to change the hoverable.py file, so I'm just going to close it. And then what we can do is we import from hoverable, we import the hover behavior object. So that is a class, the class hover behavior inside the hoverable.py file. So that's what we're going to use. And the way we are going to use that is, let's go down here, and I'm going to create a class and call it image button. So this will be a special button. It's not going to be a simple button anymore, but it's going to be an image button. And this image button is going to inherit from the hover behavior class and a couple of other classes as well, which I'm going to import in here. So the way we are going to implement this button is by having two different images. I created these images in PowerPoint. You can easily create them. You have these symbols and you add some text and then make the background transparent, and so you have one blue and one red. So the two different states you want the button to have. It's a PNG image. And so the idea is that this button will not have text, it will have an image. Therefore we need to import from kivy.uix.image import image. And lastly, from kivy.uix behaviors import button behavior. And that's it. So now we get image and button behavior, and we place them as parents of the image button object. And all we need to do here is just pass. So it's just a class that gets together these three objects to make a class, so the image button class, that has attributes that behaves like these three objects. So what we do then is we go to the image button, and I place it wrong here, sorry. So this should be here actually, image button. We are talking about the logout button, not the Enlighten Me button. And we don't need that logout text anymore. So we don't need this logout text because we are using our own image which has the text inside. So remove that. On press root.logout, yes, that's correct. And source of this image button, it's going to be logout hover if self dot hovered else logout not hover dot png, of course. So that is the path of the image. So hovered, this self-hovered here, what it is this attribute of the hover behavior class. So it's a Boolean property. It could be either true or false. So this is Python code. I told you that everything on the right of these attributes is Python code. So we are going to set as source the logout hover image for this image button. If this is true, if hovered is true, so the hoverable.py file is detecting if a mouse is over that button. Otherwise, we put logout not hover. So that's that path there. So let me see what's happening. Yeah, so it's working fine, as easy as that. But the button is obviously taking too much space in here. So it's basically taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20%. So we have 5 widgets. Each of them is getting 20% of the space. So let's do some size hinting then. Size hint. I think a good amount would be like 0.35, 0.35. So let's see. Yeah, I think this is good. And now this is in the center, so if you want to put it on the right, you want to change the position. And again, there's the position hint attribute, which gets a dictionary center x. I think a good number will be 0.93 and center y 0.8. Now if we try this, see what we have. Nothing will happen because the button, when we use this position hinting, the widget has to be inside another widget called relative layout. If you save the Kivy file now and execute the file, that will do the magic. If I press the button, it will not work, and the reason why that doesn't work is hidden here in how we ordered these parents of this image button class. The button behavior should be the first one, because that order may hide the methods of that button behavior. Now let me try again. Log out, so now it works. Log in again. And this is about this image button implementation, and in the next lecture let's go ahead and implement this scroll view here of the label. See you.